Now we're cooking! Welcome to our third episode this week and our golf week of Now We're Cooking episodes. The fun cooking show for kids of all ages. My name is Aunt Annie.
I'm Grandma Jayne.
Okay, in the first episode, as you know, hopefully you know anyway, we did tea time where Jayne made us tea, taught us about different ways to make tea, different flavors of tea, etc. And made lemonade and put the two together in whatever levels you like. But Arnold Palmer is what we call that, and it's 3/4 tea to that quarter of lemonade, or half and half, or whatever you want to adjust it to your taste. Then we jumped into the next episode where we made homemade potato chips as well as party dip. Okay, so we've got those setting aside ready for our meal when we've got it done. But the next thing we're going to make is something you might want to make for breakfast before you go golfing on your particular golf day, before you can start your tea time. Okay, and we're going to make homemade holes in one, or otherwise we call homemade donut holes, because the whole idea of the game of golf, kids, is to get that little white dimply ball from the tee to the hole that's way down, several yards down the fairway, and to get it in there in at least as many strokes or shots as possible. So of course, what's the best shot of all? One. If you can hit it off the tee and that little ball dribbles right and goes right into that little hole, we call that a hole in one. That is a very celebrated shot. Many people can play golf for years and years and never ever enjoy a hole in one. Our good friend Lorraine, she just I celebrated her 7th or 8th.
Hole in one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Our good friend Lorraine just celebrated her 7th or 8th hole in one in all the years she's been golfing.
Wow.
So good for her. I think it was her 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that's a lot.
We do know people right here in our hometown that have had more than one. But if you can even get one, kids, it's quite a feat. It's quite an achievement. So again, just to help you realize that is what the goal is in golf. Jayne's going to take the lead on this, and she's brought her air fryer today and show us how to make donut holes in one.
Well, I picked up sweet Hawaiian biscuits, and I didn't know they even made these. I happened to see this on TV, and I thought, I'm going to try it.
Just like the good one, sweet Hawaiian rolls we had for our sliders last week.
Yep.
Now, what department of the supermarket are these?
It's the refrigerated by your cheeses and butters and coffee creamers, that kind of thing. And then what they did, they just used a little flour that was down on the...
That should remind you of the pretzels last week, kids, where we needed dough and we always had to have lots of flour. Sometimes people have plastic mats so they don't make a mess on their table or on their butcher block. They have plastic mats for pastry making. But Jayne has just taken these out of the crescent container. And now what are you doing then, Jayne?
I'm gonna, since we're doing holes, donut holes, I'm gonna put the glass right in there and get the whole part of the donut out. And speaking of those pretzels, Ann, those were awesome. I really liked them. I told Mom I'd make her some this week.
Well, we were very pleased. I felt badly. I told my mom about them, and she tries to stay away from a lot of carbs. And I said, Mom, I didn't bring you any because it was carbs. She said, I would have liked to try pretzels, though.
I know.
I can't believe you girls were brave enough to make pretzels. I never in all my days.
I've
never in all my days made pretzels, she said. If you make them again, put me on the list.
They really were pretty
I
easy,
thought they were
actually.
delicious.
They weren't that bad.
Yeah.
Well, especially it'd be fun to do in a day, maybe kids, it isn't a beautiful, nice day where you can enjoy the weather. I think pretzels would be fun in the cold fall when you can't be outside anymore. It's too crisp to catch with a football.
Football, yep. Football weather or whatever.
Yeah, football and winter weather, or it's rainy weather where you can't get outside and play, or you can't get outside and do those activities you want to do with good weather.
And with that dip, wouldn't be bad either. You know, something different.
But I guess the good thing is if you do have, say, a summer day you want to make pretzels, say it's a baseball game, but you're watching on TV, but it's raining outside, you can't get outside, especially if you have an air fryer, you don't have to worry about it adding a bunch of heat to your house.
No. So these all can be also baked for like regular donuts, but I'm just going to use the hole-in-one since that's what we are focusing on.
That's our theme.
And again, I'm gonna, before I put it back in there.
But like Jayne said, if we wanted to make these, the outside part, those could be donuts. But today we're focusing, because of golf, on a hole-in-one and just making the holes.
And gonna squirt each one with a little bit. And then again, put them in. You can flip them also while they're cooking, but we'll see, maybe we don't have to. Sometimes you don't. It's usually a 350-degree air fryer for close to 15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. It already has like 1 minute to go that I didn't cancel it, so anyway, we can clean this off and we're gonna start up another.
Now, there wouldn't be anything wrong with keeping those aside then, and then later we can go ahead and throw those in as donuts.
Yes.
Again, that's what I would suggest you do if you're gonna go home, or if you're not playing or doing this as a golf theme, or if you're just doing it at home just to make them. I would go ahead and make the donut holes and make the donuts. And you have the choice then of eating either one. And you can certainly roll them or sprinkle them with the same or different things per donut or hole. Isn't that right, Jayne?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I would have like cut them in fours and then rolled them too.
Oh, hey, good idea. And then none of it go waste and you have all donut holes. Yeah.
And you
Very
still could,
good.
technically, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
could
can
do
just
that.
cut like all those in
But
half.
these should be enough at least to exhibit, so.
So like Megan suggested too, Jayne
Keep
could
them whole.
could cut those so there's less dough in each, and roll them in the flour and roll them into holes, okay?
Or from the beginning. when
Or from the
they're
beginning.
Biscuits, cut them in fours or halves.
Ah,
depending
and
on
not
what you
even do the
Yeah.
punch in the donut
Yeah.
hole out. Gotcha.
So again, if you follow
Right.
what Megan said, just take what came out of the crescent container and maybe cut it into fours with a knife. Make sure it's got plenty of flour, kids, because otherwise the dough is sticky. And we learned from our pretzels we don't want real sticky dough. You can't really have enough flour on them. It's okay. So go ahead and cut them like in fours. Get plenty of flour on them. Roll them in balls, and put them in the old air fryer. Good idea.
Mhm.
But I kind of like the idea, Jayne, of what you're doing though, of having the choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to pop just a hole in their mouth. They want the whole 9
They
yards.
want it, yeah. But I guess I was focused on thinking hole in one, you know.
Oh, absolutely. We
Which-
just did that for the
Yeah.
theme.
Which brings me to talk about my dad for a minute.
Please do.
Anyway, this is his certificate, August 11th, 1996. He got a hole, his first hole in one at the age of 70. And for
Aw.
years he was saying, I don't know why I can't get a hole in one because I golf all the time. He would golf 4 balls at a time sometimes. And if you golfed with him, you never had to worry about watching for your ball because he knew exactly where it was. But anyway, for like in July 7th of that year though, now a month and 4 days earlier, I made his birthday cake and I said, this is the year, and I showed like a hole in one on the cake. And my God, a month and 4 days later, he
That's
got
awesome.
it. And he got another one later too. But you always get a certificate your first time for sure.
So he had 2 in his
he
life.
had 2 in his life.
Saints be praised. I don't
Yeah.
think my poor dad has ever gotten one. And I haven't heard that my brother or nephew have either.
Oh, you'll hear when they do. That's for
I would
sure.
think I'd hear if my brother Phil or my nephew Stephen would have gotten them before.
So I was so thrilled, and it's just a fluke that happened. But-
Oh, but he's
Yeah.
gotten 2.
Yeah, he got 2 of
Bless
them.
his
Yeah.
little pea pick.
And you know, he was 70 with that. That's
Yeah.
he was a good golfer at that age. That's pretty amazing.
Well, kids, we're going to keep an eye on these donut holes. Eventually, when they're out, Jayne will show you how to finish them up, and then we'll probably throw the rest of these donuts in. So whoever's the lucky recipient of these going home today, we'd like to share our food and give it out to different people that might not cook all the time, or even if they do, have a little something different they don't
There
make
you
at
go.
home. So we're going to go ahead and sign off into our next entree. Because now we have breakfast, we have a couple of sides, we've got our beverage, but the next episode we're going to get the actual light entree for our golf week. So Jayne, what would you say in signing off?
Just be good out there, kids, and be nice to each other, and don't let anybody bully you or anything or talk you down. Just stay safe. We love you.
That's right. Kids, it's just not worth being unkind to people. Megan's got a shirt on today that says love one another, okay? There can't be a better rule. Love one another. Embrace people that are different than you. They're a gift. You learn so much from people that might speak another language or from a different country, wear different clothing, can teach you different methods of the way they live and their culture. It's fascinating. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be nasty about. Just like you'd like them to learn about you, you need to learn about them. And from time to time in our show, we're going to have lots of our friends that are all different shapes, colors, sizes, and ages, okay? So hopefully that'll help you understand that we practice what we preach, okay? So until next time, we hope to see you on our next episode of Now We're Cooking!